life.
Yeah, perfect. I'll
Whoop.
I'll check on all of that in a minute anyway.
Yes.
Mags, I did tune in to the Tuesday show the other day.
Oh,
I
thank
was
you.
trying to contribute via the chat. However, verification is needed.
Yes.
For some reason, Twitch doesn't
Oh,
like my
that's
phone
right.
number.
We've had a couple of people who've had that. But I have reasons for that.
I get the reason. I get that, some people are very unsavory in Twitch chat, so I get it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We had one guy that actually was so determined to get his opinion about whatever game it was that we were trashing that they managed to get into our Discord, but couldn't actually, again, didn't do the verification process for the Discord. So then proceeded to try and ring me through Discord,
Oh,
thinking that we were
no.
using Discord for the show, but obviously we
What?
don't because we use different software. And then
Yep.
all I got was, I wanted to be on your show, expletive, 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 and then immediately left the call. And I was just sat there laughing, going, "You're never going to get through because,
Wrong software.
yeah, wrong software." So nice try, buddy. And never heard of them again.
Oh my gosh.
Wonderful. Gotta love some Twitch trolls.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
great fun.
So
Yes. Bots and trolls. Ugh.
It's all part of the fun and games, isn't it?
Todd loves a troll. Oh, dear.
Oh goodness. Well, it's my Sunday evening.
Oh, what wine do we have this evening?
Tonight
Oh,
we
God.
have a lovely rosé from South Africa.
Nice.
Rosé is a summer wine, and the summer is winding down. Ha ha!
I thought it was just getting started the way it's been actually nice for the
Oh,
first time in 3 months.
Yeah, this is what's
Yeah.
okay. I'm about to just be a little bit of a nerd for 2 seconds for our poor chat as they drift in. So it's like
Nerd.
it's like crazy warm over here in Belfast, Northern Ireland, which is not a normal phrase that you would hear.
Mm.
But I have holly bushes out in front of my garden. I almost said yard. That's what we call it in Texas, a garden.
Yeah.
There's holly
Yard.
berries on it. Holly berries mean, oh, hello, moth. Holly berries mean it's going to be like a freezing cold early. They're early. They're a month early. Freezing cold winter. So it's like
lovely.
trying to process that it's going to be a freezing cold winter while it's like freaking summer out there.
That's messed up
Yeah. So
in every sense ever, really, isn't it?
Let's be honest, this summer has been a very strange one anyway.
I would define it as awful here. I think 3 months of just rain is what we've had. And then yesterday and today it started being sunny. Apparently going to have a heat wave here.
Yeah, all week
That's
this
what-
I'm
week.
like,
Yeah.
great, we're in autumn. And
Yeah,
now we
exactly.
get heat wave.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yes.
Because coming out with the nice weather whilst I was working this weekend was always really helpful to be able to see that out of the window of the office. Yeah, great.
I'm ready for my pumpkin spice lattes. Not really.
Oh, God, yeah.
I
I
don't
mean, they've
drink
just
those.
come out, haven't they?
Yeah, probably have.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. Was it Costa were advertising them the other day?
Christmas decorations will be out next
Oh,
week. You
gosh.
watch.
Oh.
I
goodness.
don't, because I know people who will get started that early.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh gosh. Oh, I'm freezing. I mean, my video is freezing. Why?
Your video freezing. You didn't
Oh.
look like you were freezing. Oh, you did on the
Yeah.
Interesting.
did on
Okay.
the Twitch thing.
Hopefully that will be a one-time occurrence.
Right. Let's keep an eye on. I've got to bring all the stuff open, so let me just keep an eye on the bit rate.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, it looks good.
Looks fine, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's gremlins in our stuff.
Yeah.
It's that moth.
Blame it on the
It
moss.
is.
Blame it.
It's a stupid
the moth.
moth. Stop trying to get on camera. It's not your time.
So I want my bit rate. I want my bit rate.
We'll introduce you later, special guest.
Remember the moth memes? Those were great.
Oh god, I can't remember the moth memes.
It was just the picture of a moth, like his face, and then it would be like a porch light, and it would just be like brother. You know?
Oh right, okay.
I'm such a dork.
Right, okay.
Oh, Nana, we will be talking about that.
Yes.
I just
Yeah.
put that in chat. Yeah.
Okay.
That thing that happened nearly 3 weeks. Can't believe that was nearly 3 weeks ago as well. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
gosh,
Time has
yeah.
flown, hasn't it?
Yes.
Right, I will be back in a second. I just need to check this test recording.
I was
Okie dokie.
gonna try and make a timeless pun, but I couldn't get there.
Oh, come on.
It's timeless. He just falls flat. It's just not. It doesn't feel like 3 weeks though.
No, it'll be 3 weeks on Wednesday since we've done it, which is nuts. It actually,
Yeah.
it's weird because it feels longer than that. I don't know why, but then, and I mean that in a good way. But
Yeah.
it just feels like a month's gone by since we've done it because so much has
I was
happened.
gonna say that's It was
And
such a big undertaking as well, which we will talk about, lovely audience, as you file in.
Yeah, we will talk about that later. Let's not give away anything just yet.
I was gonna say no. We're not gonna ask Mag anything. Mag, is there anything about Timeless at all? Nope.
No, let's just talk about Starfield, which I won't be playing until Thursday next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Let's
get
talk
to
about a
play
game
it.
I haven't managed to get a chance to play yet.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
no time.
Annoyingly enough, we didn't get an early code from Bethesda, despite all of Kylie's wanting to be a Bethesda fangirl.
I am a Bethesda fangirl. I don't
Clearly
hide
not
that.
big enough.
I guess not. I should have flown to space. That's where I messed up.
That's the Moth. Moth might have got a code.
Yes.
I've been entering every competition I can to win that Constellation edition because our watch looks amazing.
That looks amazing, I have to say.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Kylie, if I happen to win it because it is on the Rapid Reviews radio account, you get the box, I get the watch.
Okay, that works for me. I'll take it.
You can have the code and everything, so it means you actually get to keep the game.
Yay!
I don't care, I'll play on Game Pass, it's fine.
I have been reading the reviews. I usually don't read reviews, but it's not good.
Is it not? See, now it's interesting because I saw a lot of early reviews come out, but I've avoided it because we're not going to talk about it until a week on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, because of the official release date being Wednesday next week, that falls to the following Tuesday show. So
yeah.
I've deliberately kind of missed it, but then everyone I've seen who's been talking about it has actually had good things to say.
Oh well, that makes me happy. Yeah.
I've when I was listening to the Spawncast earlier, there was 3 of them that had it, and they're all playing it and loved it. To be fair, they had minor nitpicks about certain things.
Well,
yeah.
Mostly, without saying anything spoilery or anything. It's just that I think these people that were reviewing it, these professional reviewers that I won't quote,
was it a 7 out of 10 then, knowing them? Because they review everything's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, yeah.
It was IGN then.
Oh,
yeah,
Pete, how did you guess?
They were the first ones to get their review out.
They were, and that was what I saw on Twitter straight away. I was like, oh look, IGN gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, but look, IGN Brazil gave it 9.
Well, that's interesting. But yes, I was talking about IGN, but I think it's because they didn't like that the game was so girthy.
Hey. What? Or
lengthy.
Maybe they didn't like it because this game was so finished. Maybe.
There you go. Okay.
It's not what they're used to doing. We'll
That's
review a
true.
game that's broken or messed up.
Oh, that's
7
a
out of
good
10.
point.
Not enough features.
Yeah, not enough for us to slag off.
That's it. That's it.
I'm not gonna give anything away. I'm gonna have a quick look on Metacritic to see where it's sitting at Metacritic.
Last I saw, I believe it was 87.
It still is. There you go.
Yeah. I guess because there's several reviews that are probably still in progress at the moment.
And 88 for PC.
Yeah,
Right.
so 1 point above, and that's probably because of the 60 FPS, I believe.
Yeah. That's pretty much where I thought it'd be, to be honest. It's not like I mean, it's one of those games that I wasn't that bothered about, I'm not gonna lie. And then it wasn't until Summer Games Fest when they kind of did that half an hour.
Yes.
Let's have an in-depth look, and I kind of went, okay, this has got me more interested now. But like everyone else has been hyped for it for the last 5 years.
Yes.
I just wasn't that bothered, and I'm just going to take it as it is. To be honest, I'll give it a play on Thursday. I'll give it a fair shout like everyone else, but it's not exactly the game that I've been waiting for this year. I'm not going to lie that. It's that it might blow me away, it might not. I've got no expectations of it, so I'll probably be fair on it. But
yeah,
I think
that's a good point actually.
Yeah, it's one of them.
I had no real want to play it until last year, wasn't it? When
There's
we
a
started
history of
watching all the
Starfield
coverage
here.
of it.
Yeah. Originally, because I'm a Bethesda fangirl, I was crazy excited for it. Pete was not, because they never showed gameplay footage. And then our third co-host was neutral. And then the actual like gameplay footage came out, and
Mhm.
everybody like our opinions all shifted.
Yeah, I went to
wasn't-
positive. You
yeah.
went to negative.
Yep, and Kieran was still in the middle, kind of like
Just
I
about.
could take it or leave it, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Then
now
they did that huge deep dive of it at E3, didn't they? Or
Yeah.
E3,
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, I think I'm definitely on board with this now.
I think that's what got me. It was more like, yeah, okay, this is more interesting now.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah.
I was just looking at what I was saying about Game of the Year. Resident Evil 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the better
I
ones.
really enjoyed that, but I'd say that's in my top 10, but not in my top 5. Tears of the Kingdom, I would agree with. Baldur's Gate 3. I think Hogwarts Legacy is going to be in there somewhere in the top 5.
I forgot
People,
that even came out.
everyone forgets that Hogwarts Legacy came out this year.
Yeah.
And I'm actually about that close from pulling the trigger on buying it as well, just for the Game of the Year discussion.
I think Diablo 4 is probably a good contender.
I think if they hadn't have ruined this season 1 with their crazy update, they might have got a little bit higher up the board. But I do think it's going to be in with a shout.
And then, I mean, personally for me, and I've still said this, there's not a game that's knocked it off its pedestal, which was ironic because it was came out the second week of January, which is Dead Space remake.
Oh right, yeah. Oh, that was so good.
That is still my number 1 game of this year at the moment. There's nothing yet to knock it off top.
That's fair.
There's a good chunk of games in that top 10, so I'm not knocking Resident Evil 4. Just saying, but it's kind of at the back end of that top 10.
So now, personally, for me, I'd switch Dead Space and RE4 remake. I preferred RE4 remake over Dead Space. Okay. I absolutely love the original RE4, and I was stated on this show of saying RE4 does not need a remake. It did not need anything done to it. Yeah, but then I played the hell out of it, and I was like, yeah, it needed a remake.
Yeah, I'm like you. I didn't think it needed a remake, but being someone who didn't really play much of the original compared to the other Resident Evil games, I don't think that really bothered me. So I kind of like this.
Yeah, I think that's where I was sat on the opposite end, because I hadn't played Dead Space before. So playing the remake, it was like, I do really like this. It's just it's not gelling with me as much. I'm sure you did. Yeah, I own the original on 360, but I never got around to playing it because it was going to be a horror stream for young Kieran, but never happened. So I was going to take the mental up. Wait, can't do that this time.
I think the other thing that we've got as well, and Mike's just said, so many amazing games have released this year. I think generally this year's been a better year than the last 2 years anyway. But what's scary is what's going to come out partially this month. October's insane with game releases.
Yes.
It's been had in years. And then it kind of peters off in November and December. It's totally petered off unless anything suddenly drops last minute.
Shadow drops.
Yeah. Because I think there will be. I think there'll be some surprise releases. I think that we don't see coming. But I think there's at least 4 or 5 games that are coming out in October that could eclipse some of the stuff that came out. Spider-Man 2 being one of them is...
I think there are 3 games that are coming in the back end of the year that I think will get into the discussion. Spider-Man 2 being one of them, because that game looks outstanding. Yeah. Mario RPG.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I was going to say you've got that Mario Wonderlands as well.
And Mario Wonder. Mario Wonder looks incredible, based on what they put out on the Direct the other day. Yeah. Oh my god.
I forgot about the RPG one, but yeah, definitely Mario Wonderlands is probably going to sneak in there.
Shame that it's coming out on the same day as Spider-Man 2, though.
Yeah, and then I've noticed they've done that new Sonic one as well.
Oh, that's right.
It's got that
Sonic Superstars.
Yeah, and that's gonna sneak in October as well. I was like, God, how many more?
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2 as well.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Which I'm really excited for. So I hope that doesn't let me down.
Yeah, we're well known for not being the biggest fans of Alan Wake on this show.
Are you a Remedy fan or not? Then.
I haven't played many of Remedy's games, but back when it first released, I thought was an interesting mechanic, but I wasn't sold on the story of Alan Wake.
Okay.
So mechanics wise, I thought it was a new take on sort of third person over the shoulder shooters.
I think from what I'm seeing from this, there's bits of that, but the fact that there's two main characters in this that you bounce between, and the fact there's lots of things they've taken from like Control, which was such a good game.
That was so good.
I never play Control, so
yeah.
It's good. It's very good.
Yeah, I think it's good. You go back to it, and you might play like even in the remaster that come out like last year and this year, and you kind of go, yeah, it's an okay game. I think at the time it was good, but I think once what they've done since with their other games has been very, very good. So I think there's a lot weighing in on that. So fingers crossed for that, definitely.
Yeah.
I do agree with what Mike said, which is nobody wants to release games in December as they will miss out on Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Yeah,
that's very true. Yeah. They need to get in before the beginning of November, I believe.
Yeah. What's the only? No, I mean, Stalker 2 was going to come out, but it's been pushed back again.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that.
So the only noticeable release is that Avatar game that should have come out last Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is now out the first week of December.
Is that Frontiers of Pandora, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks it's Far Cry with blue people in it. I really don't care about it. I'll probably play it, but I just don't. It just doesn't look any good. And what's interesting, this is the thing. I think it's going to get pushed back again. My honest opinion, because it was listed in an IGN video of games that are out for the next 6 months between August and that. So it listed all Baldur's Gate and everything. And then 2 days later, that video was taken down by IGN and then redone. And there was a few extra games put in. And I think the main reason they redid it because Assassin's Creed got announced being brought forward by 2 weeks. So they repicked the date. And when they got to the end of the video, there was no mention of the Avatar game. They just stopped the video at the end of November. So I'm wondering whether they know something we don't. I think that Avatar game is going to get pushed again.
Yep.
It's possible.
It's got to be due out in 2049. So
Yeah. The only other noticeable ones I think from what I'm seeing here is SteamWorld Build and Dragon Quest Monsters.
Okay.
Which is the Pokemon-like Dragon Quest game.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
that does look really cool, actually.
Let's see what else we've got. Liza P could be good, I think, which is a twist on the Pinocchio story, but it's like
it's a Dark Souls-like game, isn't it?
What else we got? Obviously, we've said the Assassin's Creed game. Jury's out on whether that'll be good or not. There's that Cocoon game, if you've heard of that, which is a game made by the devs that did Limbo and Inside. Instead of being a side scroller, it's a top-down thing, but it's worlds within worlds. So you go in a sphere, which takes you into a world, and you solve the puzzle, then go to another
amazing.
Bit. It looks insane.
I really like Limbo, so I'll probably give that a shot.
That's a good studio for it.
Yeah. You got that Alone in the Dark reboot.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
With what's his face? He was in Stranger Things and Jodie. I can't remember any of the names. Really bad.
I can't either, but it looks
really good actors and actresses in it, but
the graphics look strange though. It's like they took it a different style than I thought they would.
Yeah,
it was weird.
And one of my
it's Jodie Comer and David Harbour.
That's
it. David Harbour. Yeah.
One I'm a little bit worried about, which should have been out this month, which has been pushed back 2 months, is the RoboCop game.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It does look good.
But I noticed with the cutscenes and stuff, that looks just dreadful. Like the bits in the cutscenes look terrible.
Oh, no.
But the gameplay itself looks fun, but then it's kind of like, but then you seem to be completely invincible. So the question is, will this get boring, old, fast? Because it looks like you just take out enemies left, right, and centre. There's got to be some sort of underlying threat that means it's going to make the game difficult. Because at the moment, it looks like you just hours of just gunning people down, which there's nothing wrong with that, but. Yeah. I don't know.
It needs something else about it, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. What else was there? The only one that's, again, I think this will get delayed. There's that game that everyone's moaning about, that thing that the day before allegedly is going to come out on the 13th of November, which is that game that looks like The Division, but it's a zombie game. But it's the one that's come under the lot of scrutiny because they were getting people to work on it for free, but giving them rewards and stuff. And and people saying, does this game actually exist? And are people being conned into working for a gaming company for free? And again, it's been pushed back for the last 2 years. So I'm kind of like,
Oh my god, how did we forget about this game as well?
Go on then.
Forza Motorsport.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, me too.
That's when's that? That's sometime in October, isn't it?
October 10th.
There you go.
Holy crap! Yeah. Then October is set.
There's also City Skylines 2 and 24th of October.
Yay!
Payday
which
3.
I think looks amazing.
Yeah, Payday 3's end of September.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to jump on Payday 3.
Absolutely.
What else is there?
Detective Pikachu returns on the 6th of October.
There's that Lamplighters Society as
yes.
well. That looks quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the Star Ocean Second Story R as well on the 2nd of November. Hogwarts Legacy Switch version's coming out on the 14th of November.
Yeah, because that was supposed to be July, wasn't it? And it got pushed back.
Yeah. Persona 5 Tactica.
Oh yeah, and then there's but then aren't they doing I've just seen that adding to Game Pass, isn't it? The Reload one, but that's not until next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's next year. So it's Persona 3 Reload, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got that Assassin's Creed Metroid game in January next year.
But then we've probably got what could be deemed as a Game of the Year contender if it turns out well, like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that November? Is that
November 9th? So
that
it may just make the cut for Game of the Year, but I don't think it's hitting Game of the Year at all.
Because then you're going to get the Like a Dragon one.
Next year. Infinite Wealth is next year.
Yeah, which is
you get and you get a demo in Gaiden for it.
Wow. Okay. So then technically we will have almost had 3 Like a Dragon games within the space of the year, because we had Like a Dragon Issue out in February.
Yeah, I keep seeing that in my local CEX, and I'm so close to buying it.
You should, Pete. You enjoy the Like a Dragon series.
I'm not sure I want to pay 30 quid for it yet.
Well, okay.
25 maybe. 25.
I understand that.
Yeah. I'm buying a house. I need to save money.
Well, that makes sense. Do we want
to get this show on the road? Yeah.
Start? Okay. I said it was 175. Right.
Correct.
Wow. That's cool. I'm going to drink.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Right. I am recording now. So
okay.
I'll count you in.
Yes.
First start in 3, 2.
Welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio Podcast, episode 175, which is insane. And I say that every time, but yes, 175 truly is insane. I am your co-host, Kiley Wilde. I'm joined by a temporary co-host in the form of a moth that keeps flying in front of my camera. So he'll be by to say hi a few times. And my ever-present co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello.
And special returning guest, middle-aged gamer guy, MAGG. He is here again.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me back.
It's always a pleasure to have you here.
It's brilliant. Love it.
We have a great show, a really great shoe. Because he's gonna talk about his adventures over the last what happened 3 weeks ago. But we're also gonna talk about who knows what. That's strap in for some fun. Join us over on twitch.tv/rapid reviews. Also, because you can watch the fun.
Yes, you can also go back and check it out on YouTube if you have missed it live, because you can hear our interesting talk about potential Game of the Year candidates.
Yeah, we always love that pre-show. And the post-show. And the show in between. Hey, it's all good. From start to finish. But I do like to start each episode with asking how everyone's week has been, what they've been watching, what they've been playing, what has their experience with living life has been. Max, you're our guest. So how's your week been?
Week's been good, thank you. Still trying to get over what happened a few weeks back, which we'll talk about later. I was saying to Pete, we're supposed to have a couple of days off after it. Didn't happen because I was busy sorting more stuff out for the next one.
Uh-huh.
But no, it's been good. It's been busy. It's kind of getting into routine, but it's that crazy thing of coming back from that and then realizing that actually you've only got a couple of weeks until the next event that you're going to, and then that's only a couple of weeks away from the next event after that, and it's kind of a run of big gaming events over the next course a couple of months, going all the way up to kind of end of October, November now. So it's kind of planning all that and going, I actually need to book some hotels and sort of stuff out, and figure out how on earth I'm actually getting to these things now. But yeah, in terms of games I've been playing, Moving Out 2 was one I played.
I saw you play it. I watched
loved it. Absolutely enjoyed it.
Such a great
my
game.
biggest regret, I couldn't play it sooner than that. Really, really enjoyed it. Great fun. I loved the original. This is just as good. But it just takes it even further, and it's even crazy, like having to herd cows and things, not just in furniture, trying to get animals and stuff. It's nuts. And then obviously
to this game.
Yeah. Yes, there is up to 4 people.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so it's really good. And I was a bit worried that, because I started off playing it solo, and I was a bit worried that solo would, because obviously Team 17 makes some fantastic games. The Overcooked games, but Overcooked trying to play a solo is just pointless.
It's almost impossible. It really is. Yeah.
And I was a bit worried this would be the same, but it's not. So you can play it solo, which is great, but you can have up to 3 other people, and it's even more fun and even more a challenge.
Yeah, because I tried playing the first game, and I wasn't sure if it had co-op on it, but I never got anyone interested to want to play it. But yeah, it was difficult to try and play that on your own.
Yeah.
So at least there's a co-op option. I can try and jump on with someone, try and give it a go.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of fun.
Oh, it is. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then the only other thing I played that was new, which landed on Thursday, was the latest update for the Sea of Thieves, which was the second part of the Monkey Island story. Second of 3 parts. We get the third part at the end of September. And it's really, really well done. They've taken a lot of time and love to recreate all the characters from the Monkey Island games. And there's little in-jokes there about certain stuff. And it's weird because you're playing Sea of Thieves, but it doesn't feel like Sea of Thieves. It feels like you are playing a Monkey Island game because there's a lot more puzzle elements and talking to characters than the usual getting in a ship, having a battle, sword fighting, as much as I love Sea of Thieves. So it's something very different, but thoroughly enjoyable. So that's good fun. So there you go. Hello, Dan, by the way, I'm going to say in the chat.
Hello, Dan.
No. Yes, it's the what did we call your acolytes? Did we call them Magalites?
Maglites.
Maggies.
Maglite, yeah.
Shining
in the dark.
Yes, that's it. Yes. Again, I always do this, but a shout out to Max's community because they're just friendly, they're fun. It's just a fun, and Tuesdays are my favorite.
Yeah, would have loved to have engaged with them if I got my phone number working on Twitch. Thanks, Twitch.
We'll make it happen, Pete. We'll make it happen.
We will.
Yeah. But Pete, that brings me to you. What about your week? How's that going?
Let's just say it's mostly uneventful.
That's good, actually.
I've been working this weekend, so been focused mostly on dealing with that. I had a bit of a gaming session with my boys the other day, so played a bit more Fall Guys, a bit more Fortnite.
I was gonna say, I saw you playing Fortnite.
Yeah, I know. Look, it's a game that someone in our group wants to play, so I just play it with them. So it's like it can be fun at times.
Any game can be fun if it's co-op.
Yeah,
you got a group going.
It's not my most ideal way of playing, but it will do. But then also playing Rocket League as well, and Rocket League is just so much fun, despite the fact that you get some really sweaty people on there. It's just like they go out to win at all costs, which is fair enough. Can't argue with that. But when you've got a guy on your team who is also win at all costs, get absolutely really pissed off with it, it can be quite daunting.
Oh goodness.
So, but yeah, other than that, I saw The Equalizer 3 yesterday evening.
Was
any good?
Yeah, isn't it
It's
good?
very good. If you like the first one, you'll definitely enjoy it. If you like the second one, you'll probably still enjoy it.
Okay, because I thought the second one was nowhere near as good as the first one. But
I'm with you there. The second one's not as good. Still not bad, but this one is a bit more of a return to form. It's a lot shorter than the first one, which is a bit strange. It's a very tight 1 hour 30.
Oh wow, okay.
I know. To find a film these days that's about 1 hour 30, very
Yeah.
weird.
At least it didn't do the Taken route, because I remember Taken 3 was 90 minutes and Taken was like up there, and then Taken 2 was down there, and Taken 3 was like somewhere in the basement.
Funnily enough, that's what I was watching on TV last night. It's the first time I've actually seen the first Taken movie. It's pretty good.
Really? Yeah.
Oh,
no,
the first
it's
one's
pretty good.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing to report.
Oh, that's very good, Pete. That's actually always good to hear.
Cody, how's your week been?
So my week has just purely been CrossFit. It's very boring. CrossFit, Minecraft, and some mobile games that I play constantly.
Oh, are you going to give us another update on Luna?
I can't. I'm telling you. Here's what my complaint about Luna is. I cannot get a controller that just does right, that connects right. I'm gonna have to fork over the money for the dadgum Luna controller, and I do not want to pay that 60 quid. And there's no used ones, because they're like worth gold, so nobody sells them, like for cheaper.
Okay. So can you use any Bluetooth controller, or does it have to be?
Well, it depends on it depends on if it recognizes it, because it stopped supporting the dual one from the PS4. That's what I tried first.
DualShock 4.
DualShock 4. It stopped supporting that. I don't have any Xbox controller that can connect to it. So I have this generic cheapy one, and it connected perfect. Like the talkie identify thing, totally recognized it, easy, and all this stuff. But it's mapped so weird. I think I mentioned this before on the show, where it's like half Xbox controls and half PS controls. And I'm just like, I'm lost because it's not consistent, and there's a lag. There's like a, I don't know.
Okay, let me make a suggestion to you, because I just had a quick look to see if this can be done. Using a now defunct streaming platform's controller in Stadia.
Well, that's supposed to be a great controller, from what
exactly, and it can now be connected via Bluetooth. So
I might get a used one and see how that goes.
Oh my lord, Stadia lives in another. It's come back as a zombie.
It's a zombie. Oh, zombie controller, I love it. Stadia will never die, apparently.
That is the one thing I did hear about Stadia, is that actually the controller was very good.
Everyone wanted it to die, but it doesn't look like the controller's going to die.
It won't die. Why won't you die? Outside of that, though, I watched Doom Patrol, which I mentioned last week, but I didn't.
Yeah, I forgot you mentioned that. I need to go and watch it.
I didn't know that there was 4 seasons, and the 4th season hasn't come to the UK. And I went selling the 7 Seas just because, I was curious, no real, just sometimes I like to sell the 7 Seas.
So you were Sears thieving it?
Yes, and they do not have it anywhere.
Oh.
Which is shocking.
That's very weird.
So I'm stuck until it comes to the UK, or it happens across my path.
Is it by any chance on Max over in US?
It is. It's HBO Max product.
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, you can't call it HBO Max anymore. It's just Max.
Oh yeah, it's just stupid. But it's a really good show. I'm not kidding. I didn't think I'd ever like a DC product in my life. Well, I mean DCU. Like I like some of the comics. Yeah, they've got some really good comics. But I mean on screen, and this is like, it's so good. I love it so much. But outside of that, I ain't done nothing because I've had 6 weeks off, and I went back to work this week, and it was awful.
I mean, at least you get to work for yourself.
I do, but that didn't make it any better. My boss is a real B word.
Brilliant, man. The word you were looking for? No.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful and brilliant because my boss is me. But
bold.
Yeah, bold.
Oh, Bill Bold, man.
Okay. So, now we got all the pleasantries out of our system. Time to dig deep.
And there they are saying that banter is dead in podcasts, eh?
No.
Banter will never die. Not in
no,
British.
You should always start the show.
Stadia controller.
That's right. Oh, they should rename it banter. But the real reason we have gathered you guys together here tonight is we are going to talk about. So last time we had Max on was was it a week or it was a week or two before Timeless? I can't.
Few weeks. I think.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
prior.
Yes, it was about 2 weeks. That's right. And so we got to talk about all the prep and all that stuff. Now here we are, 3 weeks, haha, after, well, just about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to find out how it went. How did it live up to expectations? Of course it did. Did it exceed expectations? Of course it did. And all of the ins and outs that you won't get anywhere else because he's here right now and talking about it.
I mean, he might have done on his own streams, you know. But
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Not yet, actually. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I'm not. Well, obviously, I've talked about how good it was, but I'm actually doing a. Here you go. Here's a plug. I'm doing a show a week on Monday, talking about all of it, because we're going to have some other blogs and video things that other people have done. So I wanted to compile them all and then kind of show it all. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So technically, this is the first kind of
nice
thing that I've done since, like, that's live. I've obviously done interviews, but this is the first live interview I've done since the event. So yeah,
we're calling it exclusive then.
There you go.
Yeah, I said that, and as a thank you, you will get a little exclusive of something that I've not mentioned anywhere else.
Interesting.
See,
yeah,
you will hear it here first, folks.
Mm.
But while we have him, we are going to pepper him with lots of questions.
Go for it.
So, Max, first and foremost, how did it go?
It was shocking. I'm never doing it again. No, I'm joking. No, it was. How do I make this sound without sounding so absolutely big-headed? But
go for it.
We have
the greatest event of all time.
Yeah, do you know what? I won't go that far, but we definitely smashed it out of the park. The team and I, it was far better than expected. This is the thing. I think we were quite amazed by. We knew that by the time I'd done the interview with you guys, we knew it was shaping up to be something really cool. Yeah. And then, like, the day before when we were doing the setup, tickets were still shifting. And we were like, well, last year this never happened. And the fact that we even sold tickets on the day, which again last year never happened. I think we were just under 350 people at the event, which was amazing. So we 3/4 more than last year, because it was just over 100. So just under 350. We would have got 350, but weirdly, a couple of people had bought tickets and didn't turn up on the day for various reasons.
Sometimes that happens,
which is fine. It happens. But I think the fact that we were getting tickets bought on the day, when we were about to open, we wanted to open the doors at 10 o'clock for press, VIPs, and guests, and people were queuing from 9:30, and we were like, wow, okay. And we had some people coming in, and we're like, you can't come in for another half an hour because we're just sorting this out. So that was really cool to see all the people come in, and then we had a flurry of people at 11. There was another flurry at 12, and the fact that we had people turning up at like 5 o'clock after their day of work and come in again, that was something that never happened last year. We had a party of 20 people turn up at one point, and we're like, oh, we just came for like the last few hours. We know we've missed most of it, but we want to like come in and enjoy it. And it was just great. I think everything went really well. There wasn't anything that didn't go according to plan. Like, there was stuff behind the scenes where it was like, we're going to do that and sort that out really quickly before anyone notices. But I think we've already had feedback. We haven't even sent out the feedback forms yet. Those go out later this week to everyone who's bought tickets. But we've had feedback like saying it was been the best gaming event they've attended this year, which I'm like, wow, okay, that like, you know, I'm not trying to downplay our event, but there are other events that have happened this year that are far bigger than ours, and in my opinion, were probably better than ours. But to have people say that about us is greatly appreciated. And I don't think we've had one bit of bad feedback at all yet, touch wood. Everyone was just saying how good it was, how well it was. They felt that what we put on was far better than what we'd done the previous year.
Right.
What we gave the VIPs, the VIP experience. Like, we literally announced something 2 days before saying, oh, by the way, in your VIP bag, there's this game from Merge Games, which is worth 25 quid. Just drop that in 2 days before the event.
Oh my goodness.
People were like, oh my God. And people were like, oh, should have bought a bloody VIP ticket.
See?
People now know next time.
So I just think it all went well, that the panels were very well received. I think people said that the content we'd put together was, again, far better than the year before, because it felt like we tailored it to the audience's needs.
Right.
And I just think there was a moment we were only about an hour in, and there was two people that come up to me. One was one of the guests, which was Simran from Format, and we just done the interview with him, and he come up to me and he went, "You're absolutely smashing the SHIT out of this." We were only like, I mean, we'd been open a couple of hours, but the main stage had only been open an hour. And then a couple of hours later, another guy just come up to me who I'd not met before. And he said, "Oh, I came to this last year." And he said, "Can I just say thank you so much for putting this on and carrying it on without the guy that I did it with the previous year." And just said, "This is just taking it to another level." And I'm just standing there going, okay, all right. And I think it was that moment that literally got off stage at about 7 o'clock, and that we kind of did the after party thing. And there was me saying, "Oh, I'm going to go play some games. I'm going to go have a beer. I'm going to enjoy the next 3 hours." And not saying I didn't get to enjoy it, but I didn't get to play any games, and I didn't get to have a beer until I got back to the hotel at like 11:30 at night, because I just had people wanting to come and talk to me that had either been there, or we had press that wanted to do interviews, and other people come up to us, and other organisations that went, "We've only just heard about this. We turned up on this on a whim. How can we get involved next year?" And I'm like, okay. So I literally didn't stop. So I've set a new world record. Last year I managed to play one game in the whole venue.
Right.
I managed to play 0 games in the whole venue this year.
Oh dear.
But it was phenomenal. And for the next 3 days, it was nothing. I said I was going to shut off social media and step away. And I kind of did it a bit. Like, I came off Discord and a few things, but the amount of text messages and other messages. And then I spent a day catching up on Twitter and Facebook messages. And I was just like, wow, this is insane. We clearly smashed it. I'm still like, we pulled this together in 4 months, which is
it's unheard of.
Ridiculous.
It is.
Like, should never do that. And I said I'll never do that again. And somehow it ended up being that. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. And I did. There was part of me that was kind of like, if it goes okay, I can kind of decide after, are we going to do it again? Are we not?
Right.
And because it was going so well, and the reaction from the crowd and everyone, that I kind of did hastily shout out, "Who wants this again next year?" And everyone shouted yes. And I went, "All right, we're doing it next year." To the look of horror to the rest of the team, because I hadn't consulted them on anything. And it's just what I do. I just announce stuff, and I just don't care about and then I make it happen. It's like, I'll figure that out after.
That's such a Kylie thing to do as well. So I get used to that. Trust me.
Yeah, it works.
I'm there with you. I got it. I get it.
So my question is, how well did you sleep that night?
Oh goodness.
I didn't, because I went back to the hotel to finally have a drink. And bearing in mind, I've not had an alcoholic drink since Christmas. So I had people shoving pints of lager in my hands.
Yeah.
And our DJ, who'd come all the way from Canada, bought some very nice Canadian whiskey.
Ooh,
and I think it was about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning until I went back to my room. But I didn't cane it too hard, because I had to get him and do a drive back to Southampton to meet up with Jesse and Amy, who were working on the event as well. It was to spend a couple of days. Then we get Mike back to Stansted to get him back to Canada. So I was like, well, I can't get totally wrecked. Because I've got to drive for like 6.5 hours. But let's just say I woke up slightly hungover that morning. I knew I'd had a good time. But there were some people that were a lot worse for wear. And I won't mention names, but some people even ended up in the wrong hotel and didn't even make it back to their hotel, who were drinking with us. So it must have been a good night.
That's all
That sounds like a
night.
Manchester night out to me.
Proper Manchester.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, hang on. I've just seen Dan's thing in the comments. If you can pull that off in 4 months, it means you can do 3. What?
3 timeless a year.
We don't usually ban people in our chat, but that might be warranted.
No, don't. Bless
I'm
him.
kidding. I'm kidding.
No, yeah, don't. God.
Too funny. Well, I mean, you said everything pretty much went on without a hitch. Did all guests arrived? All panels went forward and things like that?
I'd say there was a little bit where we were a little bit concerned because all guests arrived on time. There were 2 areas that we were a little bit worried about because we knew that Slopes, bless him, had a really long journey. And he was like, I think I land in Manchester at like midday. And bearing in mind he was on stage at 1 because he was doing the Space Invaders and Sonic competition with me, and then he was back on at 2:30 with the content creators panel. And he said, so I'm not going to get to Bury till 12:30. So we had, bless him, Johnny, who was helping out, was like, I'll get him from the station because if he walks for 20 minutes, he's not going to get there. So he zoomed to get him and Jinx, who was in charge of all our cosplay stuff. So he picked both of them up, bless him. So if Johnny ever sees this, thank you, Johnny, again for doing that. And literally, Slopes turned up 10 minutes before he was due on. So that was brilliant. So that all went well. And then he was there till practically the end of the night, which was amazing.
That is amazing.
And then the other one we were worried about was that Paul Makachek and Kev Bayliss from Rare were travelling up from Birmingham, and they knew that they were on at 5. And a couple of days before, like, we might get there after 5. We're a bit concerned. And their talk, along with Nick and Rich and Adam Sawkins, the Burnout guy, that was 5 till 6. And we were like, are they going to make it? And I literally got a text while I was on stage at R4 going, we're standing at the bar and we're ready. And I was like, phew, they got here. So there's a couple of moments that were a bit kind of hairy, but everyone was there when they were supposed to be. And everything ran. So I think we ran, at one point we were running about 15 minutes late on the schedule. But we kept everything to the time that it should have been. So we didn't cut anything.
Right.
But then luckily one of the competitions didn't run as long as we thought it would, and then we clawed that time back. So by the time we did that, we did the Legends panel from 5 till 6. Then we did the cosplay competition, which went down really well. Then we did the final Just Dance competition. And then we did all the big giveaways, and charity gave away a prize, and we gave away all the prizes that we had, and the cosplay winner was announced. And then it meant 7 o'clock, boom, DJ was on, and we had him behind the screen, which was really funny. It wasn't deliberate, but because we had this big pull-down screen that had all the game footage and stuff, we hid him behind there. So when he started playing, the screen came up, and there he was. And everyone was
nice.
Like, that's cool.
So that was quite funny. That wasn't even planned, but that worked really well. So
sometimes things just happen on the night that just seem to work out, right?
Yeah. And it was like, why didn't we think of that a few days earlier? You know, but
because it wouldn't have been as organic.
No. And it did. It all went well. All the guests were there when they were meant to be there. All the competitions won. A load of people won a ton of prizes.
That's so good.
We had one exhibitor turn up late, which we were worried that they weren't going to turn up because they were supposed to be there the day before setting up, and a lot of the exhibitors set up the day before. And we couldn't get hold of them. And then we were trying to get hold of them that morning because we were open 2 hours before to get them in. And literally their staff turned up and were like,
oh, goodness.
Where are they? And we're like, they're not here yet. And then they kind of turned up, and then we swiftly got them in, got them where they live, got them set. To be fair, they were set up and ready by 11, and we're still waiting to hear what happened there. But it didn't affect anything, and it wasn't too bad. So it was good. It was all good.
Well,
they were happy in the end.
Well, that's what matters, is that everyone was happy in the end. The funny thing for our audience at home, and I don't know if I told you this, Pete. So here's what was really funny to me. I was contacted by a previous guest, but is also my friend on the show. I hadn't heard from him in 3 months. Just because I went off Twitter, just kind of life or whatever. Yeah. He went and he found me over on like Instagram or whatever. He's like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for you ever. I was like, oops, I forgot. I left Twitter. And he's like, it's so good to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. for our audience at home, that was past guest Andrew. Literally, that night, I kid you not, I went over to Max's Tuesday stream. Who does he announce as a guest at the panel but Andrew? And I love that because it was like, oh my gosh, I just spoke to him. He's the nicest person in the world. And that's the type of caliber, if you've watched the show, and of course you have, because that's why you're here, that's the caliber, that's the type of guest that was there at Timeless. You can't, like, that's so above board, that's so just, that's good quality guest we're talking about.
You know what, I think the two, we had a number of panels, obviously had a lot of panels. I don't want to sound, from a personal point of view, I don't want to put favoritism on what panels, because obviously putting all the panels together was a lot of fun, and having all the different guests, and we had the podcaster ones, because we had so we had the podcaster one, we had the guys from Manchester and the guys from Sussex. That went down really well. Obviously we did the chat, we did one interview which was talking to Simran, where we were discussing why gaming events are more important, and why events at our size are they bring people together and should be the main focus of gaming. But for me, it was kind of like the things that I really was quite passionate about. One was the journalism panel. And I think the guys that we had on the panel, we did Andrew, who was brilliant. And we had Paul Monaghan from Pixel Addict, Ian Griffiths from Amiga Addict, and then we had Dan from Debug Magazine, who obviously were one of the partners. That went down really well, and people really enjoyed that. But then I think it was the other two, the ones that were kind of like, well, which was better? And it's really difficult to say, because obviously we had the Legends panel with,
which
obviously,
is amazing.
Kev, Paul from Rare, and then obviously we had Nick Clarkson from Team 17, Adam Sorkin's the Burnout guy. We had, and then we had Rich Stevenson, who worked on like R-Type, Jungle Strike, Zool, all that sort of stuff. So that was really well, and that went received. But I'll be honest, the content creators panel for me was kind of the one where I was kind of like, I think we've pulled off something really special here, because a lot of the gaming events do put on things with content creators. But it was the fact that we managed to get content creators from Ireland, Scotland, England, and Wales, and they were all different levels. So yes, we did have Chloe XO with 35,000 followers on Twitch and 35,000 subs on YouTube, and she's amazing. Love her to bits.
Very nice person.
She's lovely. And we had Slopes, who's just an absolute gent. But then we had
an awesome guy, really nice guy, and he takes the time to really like speak to all the fans at the conventions as well.
And the fact that
like EGX, he's ridiculously nice.
He was there right to the end, and I think nearly all the content creators were there right to the end. I saw Chloe leaving at the end of the night with funny enough with the good luck, have fun lads that she met from Manchester on the podcasting panel, so they'd had a good time. And then nearly all the content creators stayed right to the end. But it's the fact that it wasn't that we were just trying to say, hey, look, we've got these amazing people that have got like hundreds of thousands of followers. It was the fact that we had some that what I would call at a medium level, and then we had some that were like literally were kind of like, why are we on this panel? We've only got 100 followers or whatever. And I was like, because that's the point. And what I loved so much was, and I think what the audience loved, is the fact that they all had something to say, and everything they said was just as good as the next comment. So you had the people who just started, who came up with some great advice and tips, as well as the people who've been doing it for a number of years. And that for me was the highlight. And I should go, the Legends battle was at the highlight, and I put a lot of time and thinking into that. But actually, for me, it was.
Oh no, I love that. I do.
Which was brilliant.
Yeah,
that's great to hear, really, because you find that some conventions, I'm not going to name names of the bigger ones and all that, they tend to favour the bigger creators more than anything. So it's nice to see a panel that obviously takes the top end of the spectrum, the bottom end of the spectrum, puts them together, and just lets them have at it. Basically, because that's the point of it. Is we're all here for the same reason, aren't we? We all create content because we love the content.
This is the thing, and they say there's no such thing as a stupid question. And I like the fact that, do you know what? This is what hit it home, that we obviously invited other people to the event that were press and content creators, and we had some wonderful videos made. And there's a lovely couple from Derby Way called the Pookies, who basically love everything to do with Pokemon and Nintendo.
Aww.
And they came along, and they ended up doing 4 videos for us. Bless them.
Wow.
But they were enthralled with the panel because they're YouTubers, and they wanted some advice. And it was interesting to say. Now, I think if you'd been at any other event, and they asked the question, because someone said, "Oh, we do Twitch and that," and they said, "What's Twitch?" And they were being genuinely like serious because all they've ever done is YouTube, right?
Yeah.
I think if you'd been at any other event, people would either jeered or taken the mic, or gone, "Are you being funny?" But everyone supported their thing, saying, "Well, what is it?" And the content creators were like, "Okay, so what it is this?" And it was treated as a serious question, and that for me is like, that shows you like the mentality of the people that we had, and the groups of people that we had, and the fact that they were there to help them and give advice, and not going, "What are you on about? You never heard of Twitch?" Because I bet you, if you went, again, not naming names, if you went to some of those bigger events, I bet you they would rip the piss out of the audience for saying something like that.
Oh, they definitely would have. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Well, that actually is kind of the next question then, was so I'm going to assume here, but talk about it, of course. I'm going to say that the people who attended, they all behaved themselves and were great, and it was drama free.
Yeah, as far as I know, no one had to get evicted from the building. No one had to get security. A couple of people got a fair few drinks, but loved it. I think everyone was in good spirits. I don't think this is the thing, we've not had a single complaint as yet, and even the people that said they couldn't make it have not even turned around and gone, "We want a refund." They were just like, "Oh, we can't get that," which is really nice. And like, I think there's one person that was like, "Oh, they had an awful journey and blah blah blah," and I've just said to him, "I'll tell you what, keep in touch and we'll try and sort something for you next time. Like, we'll sort something out for you." No, we'll try and do that. But generally, everyone was in such good spirits and good time, and we had a lot of families that came. So it was nice to do an event where you'll notice on my talk show, I'm not PC.
Right.
But when I do interviews like this, and when we did the event, I managed not to swear a whole nearly 7 hours, which is a long time for me.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, that's a shock for a northerner.
Yeah, I know. And then swiftly come off stage and was like, out in the back corner, get out of my system. But it's the fact that we had all those families there, and then other people came and partied, and the families enjoyed it. Another story that this amazed me. I wanted to be there at the front desk when people came in, to meet them and greet them, right? And that wasn't just for the VIPs and press at 10 o'clock. It was for general staff. And I stayed there for a good half an hour before I had to whiz up to the stage because I was glued to that stage then. Well, I made a point of being there and meeting everyone and saying hello to everyone, whether I knew them or not, as they came in. But there was one guy that turned up, and he bought a VIP ticket, but family ticket as well. So he'd upgraded it, so he could have the bag with the bits and pieces. But then he had a wife and 2 kids, and he'd come in and he said, "The kids don't know about this. This is a surprise. They're in a car. They don't know where we are." And we said, "Oh, well, where have you come from?" He said, "Well, we've got family that are in Manchester." And we said, "Right, okay, but you don't sound like you're from Manchester." He said, "Oh, well, actually, we've flown over from Iran, right?
What?
Flown over from Iran,
wow.
come and seen family for a week, had a spare day before we fly back out, noticed this was on, so we booked this a couple of weeks ago, but it's a surprise for the kids, because obviously, bless them, the kids have been bored at all different family things. And he said, this was an idea, and we're just going to let them go wild." And he literally went, "I've got the bag, I'm going to go back now, I've got the wristbands and tickets." Went off, come back. And they were there literally, I think, until about an hour before we closed. They were there from 10 o'clock in the morning till 9 at night. And they absolutely loved it. And I was just like, So we had a guy flying from Germany last year.
Oh, gosh.
And I thought that was amazing. But they come over, and I was like, flipping heck, that tops that.
Oh, wow.
So that just,
so
That's the most wholesome story I think I can ever
hear.
hear.
That really speaks to the quality of what you experience when you go to this. Oh my goodness, that is so adorable.
It's nuts to think all that. And it's funny, people have been bringing up things that have happened on the day, or I've seen photos or videos, because there's so much going on. I was like, don't actually remember that happening, which is weird. It's like there were certain photos where people like I was on stage and we were doing stuff, and I was like, I don't remember that happening, which is bizarre. So either my mind's just gone, whoa, information overload, or just gone, block it out, block it out. But it just generally was, yeah. And I still don't think there was people that came to the event that I never got to speak to. Some were genuine, like friends that I've known for years, and some obviously other content creators who I'd not met, and some I was lucky to meet the night before. And some I was at the hotel, and I said, "Oh, is it all right to come and say hi to you now?" I was like, "Of course it is." And some we saw the next morning. But there's people that genuinely sent me a text and said, "We loved the day, but we've had to leave at 7:00. Amazing event. Sorry we didn't get to talk to you." And I'm like, "Oh God, there's so many people I just didn't get to speak to." So that's something that's going to need to change for next year. Definitely.
Yeah.
I need more time to speak to people.
I was going to say, you'll need a meet and greet booth.
Well, funny enough, we did that last year, and it kind of worked. And then we look back at the feedback thing, and people were just like, "Yeah, don't need," because we're quite open. Like when we had the Legends panel, we're like, "If you want to get your photos, jump on stage, have your photos with now." Then they're going to be here for like, because obviously Kev and Paul had to get on a flight to go to bloody Norway because they were at that massive gaming convention in Norway. So we were really lucky to get them. So some people stuck around, and some were like, "We're only here for half an hour." We're like, "Go meet them, go speak to them now. You've got half an hour." So we kind of scrapped the meet and greet thing, and we're just open about it. Like, don't be shy. If you see someone playing on a game who you've seen on the stage earlier, and you haven't got, just go up to them, because the deal was they're there for as long as they want to be, and they can speak to you. And that was it. I think even like Simran, who was the first guest on at 12:30, he was there till at least 7:00, and then he had to shoot off. Irish Panda Queen stuck around to about 7:30, and she had to get a flight back to Ireland because she had a friend's wedding. So they literally as many people that could stick around for as long as possible. Andrew as well. I think he was on at, what time was he on? He was on at like 2:00 or something, and he stuck around to at least 6:30.
I talked to him not long after. Yeah, he stuck around. Yeah.
So I always find that that's the better way of doing things anyway, rather than having the meet and greet booth. You know, it feels a little bit corporatized doing that, and how it's always been at anime conventions, it always feels like they're just sectioned off to like a corner, whereas it feels like a more genuine interaction. If you see these people doing, walking around, you can just go and have a chat with them. And most of them seem like they were very friendly, very approachable, which is always a good thing.
This is the thing. Pete Retro Games Master, who was one of our guest hosts, he was presenting the Legends panel, and he was like, "Some of these people I've not met before," and he was like, "Am I all right to go and have a beer with them?" And as I was walking out to get something out, he was standing in the stairwell with Adam Sawkins and Rich Stevenson having a beer with them, and they were just chatting away. An hour later, I walked past and they were still standing there chatting, and I was like, "Well, look,
that is outstanding."
That.
I want to move away from that corporate-y kind of thing. I know there's going to be elements that are always going to be that, but again, Simran and me discussed this. This is what we're trying not to be. We're trying to be a gaming event that's got the heart and soul of what the community want for it. So, let's get rid of meet and greet session. You want to go talk to them and they're there, great. If you do miss them, you do miss them. You're like, these people are busy people. They're giving up their time of day to be there. So we can't always say to everyone, "Hey, hang around for 12 hours." That's not always possible. But nearly all of them were there for, like, I think the shortest period that people were there for was 3-4 hours, and that's still a good chunk of their time.
That really is. That is so good.
It's also a bit of a different commodity if you're asking someone to sit at a booth for like an hour just talking to people, whereas it doesn't feel like a natural engagement, does it?
Yeah, we had people coming up to us saying, "I brought a load of games and stuff. Are they going to be okay signing with it?" And it's funny because Paul Magachek said, so you might have heard a little game called Sea of Thieves that I worked on, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like obviously I cheered because I love that game, but loads of other people cheered. And there was this one guy who'd got loads of copies of it. It was like, "Am I okay to sign it?" He was like, "Yeah, and if you want stuff signing, we'll sign anything."
I love
and people
that.
have bought books, T-shirts, copies of games. There was one guy that worked at the venue who'd asked if he could have half an hour break so that he could get all this stuff signed, and he turned up, and the venue were like, yeah, do it. And he got it, and he was when I saw him at the end of the night, he was over the moon. He had a bag full of stuff that got signed.
Amazing.
So good.
What was the most obscure thing you think you saw getting signed?
I'll be honest, I wouldn't say anything that obscure, but I did see a lot of people that had like N64 unboxed carts that were kind of cool.
That's very
wow,
cool.
okay.
Yeah, so there was a lot of stuff like that. Yeah.
Well,
so yeah, I think that was cool. There was loads of other people had T-shirts and bags of stuff and boxes and things.
Did you have timeless merch?
We did, yes. And we had a couple of people that have bought stuff on the day. People have pre-ordered it and bought it. If you fancy buying some, it's still on the website to buy. So yeah, it's one of them. It's available to buy. We sold out of the bags though. That was interesting. The bags. In fact, I might have got the last one. One second.
Oh, we have to see this.
Wow, okay. I need to see this, yeah.
You have to join us on twitch.tv/rapper-reviews to see the... Oh, wow.
That's a nice one, actually.
Okay, wait. Let's take a moment, audience. Remember, I do own a print house. I do printing professionally. That bag is really high quality. That's so good.
There you go.
Wow.
That was the ones that the VIPs got. That was a limited edition one. So
that's really cool.
We've sold out of the normal ones as well. So yeah, it's yeah.
That is amazing.
It was good.
Yeah, it looks very good. Shout out to Brent who showed up late. Bueno.
Bueno, Brent.
But I did want to ask, as we move on to the deeper topics. So is there anything that you would have done different this year? Yeah. That you may do different in the future.
Ideally we did want to do 2 stages this year.
Right.
Because Arcade Club is an amazing place. But can be quite noisy with all the machines and stuff. And this year we did change it a bit because last year we had the main stage, but obviously all the machines were on that floor, so it was quite difficult to hear. Some people said, yeah, we could hear it, but if you were more than 4 rows back, then it was difficult if you were in the standing area, as it were, if you weren't actually sat down in the seminar area. We turned some of the machines off in that area, but it still was quite noisy. But people generally said if they were sat down, they could hear it. But again, it's back.
Right.
So we wanted to have a separate stage in a quiet area, but budget didn't allow this year.
Right.
But I'm very determined to do that. One, because of something that... Do I give away something now? Before it's not the main thing I was going to give away. But shall I say?
I mean,
you can if you like. It's up to you. I'm not
Okay,
going to push you any further.
So obviously, it's clear that we're doing another one.
I mean, it is.
Right. But we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. I'm terrible for stuff like this. But the venue itself, we had the big meeting with the venue. Were they happy?
Okay.
Were they happy with us?
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Were they happy to have us back again? All that sort of stuff, all the things. What went well, what didn't.
Yeah.
So we had that big meeting just literally a couple of days ago. We knew this kind of was coming because they'd expanded the venue anyway. And I think I said this on the last show I was on, that they'd already expanded.
I think you did.
So we got the extra floor last year and that stuff. And they've now got the VR room and stuff. But we knew they were doing building work because they were knocking through to the building next door, which used to be the escape rooms.
Right.
And they've said to us that if they're on track for next year, all the building work should be done.
Oh, wow.
And the 450 capacity venue could go up to between 600 and 700 capacity. And there'll be a brand new restaurant on the ground floor.
Oh, that's great.
Because currently that's on the top floor. And the top floor is going to be more where the retro zone is going to be more like of a chilled out area. So then that means if that's the case, we can have a second stage up on the top floor, which is quieter for the Q&A, seminars, stuff. Still have the stage on the second floor and have all the machines on, but have all the noisy game challenges and everything going on with that. But it means that we could technically have maybe 200, 300 more tickets sold or more people in the building than we did, assuming they're on track. If not, we're going to be still capped at 450. And I think we would keep things the same.
Right.
But one thing we did do, because people were like, oh, I really wanted to play this and I really want to play this. And bearing in mind, there was only about 20 machines not on for the duration of the day. But soon as the stage closed and we put the DJ on, the staff pretty much got everything turned on within half an hour. And I think Slopes was like, "Oh, I really wanted to play such a," and he went, "Oh, it's on!" And he went zooming over to it.
Nice.
And so, you know, 20 machines not on for most of the day, but then we're on for the next 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
Is not that bad, and people were playing them, and you know that was cool. But I would like to have a quieter area for the Q&A and seminars because it deserves to have that. So yeah, that's one thing we'd like to change. But again, that's kind of venue permitting. If we've got the venues to do that, then obviously budget will allow, and we can do that. So I would like to do that.
So with that being the case, then if that is on track, obviously for next year, would it be something that's in the equation to potentially record the panels and then put them out later down on YouTube, on Twitch, or?
That is under consideration. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, because I know it's something obviously EGX and all that have done, and I think it's a great idea, and I think it would work really well if to be able to do so. Yeah.
What I found weird is there was a couple of talks that I did see at EGX last year, and then they've never surfaced on their YouTube channels.
Yeah, it's a so you know what I found obviously is that they're in a bit of an odd one because all their panels were sort of out in the open, so you just get all the noise from the outside area. It's quite difficult to do that because there was a podcast that recorded there called the Computer Game Show, and they said the exact same thing. All you could hear the whole recording was just background noise from people walking past.
Yeah.
So it's quite difficult to do so. So I think having a quiet room like how it was at the Tobacco Docks with EGX Res would work perfectly.
That's what I kind of want to do. If budget and venue allows, then we'll do that. But it's not been a main gripe. A few people were like, "Blimey, yeah." I think we had 2 people, bless them, who were a bit hard of hearing, and they were like, "All I could hear was pinball machines." Yeah. So we're like, "Yeah, I get that," but then a lot of people that were there that said, "Well, we were sitting on the 3rd row or 4th row." Because there's a load of comfy sofas to sit on in front of the main stage, and then rows of chairs. Anyone who was standing back is close to where the machines are on anyway. So we were encouraging people to sit down. But I think generally the feedback for that was that. So we want to try and change that. I think the other thing we want to do as well, which we're taking into consideration, is obviously the first floor is more of the modern stuff. And we said, actually, it's weird because that floor is one of the most popular floors for the venue.
Right.
However, both years that we've run the event, it's probably the least popular floor. So it has the less people in it, even though it's got some amazing new arcade machines and stuff. So we are considering making the most of the whole row of Nintendo Switches with the big TVs and the ring of Xboxes, and possibly doing some extra tournaments that run for longer, because none of our competitions run longer than half an hour. So we might do a Fortnite tournament, which runs for 2 hours, and you can have 12 people partaking at a time, and it's a knockout thing. Might do a Mario Kart one with 12 people in one go, because the venue said that could be done. And that could run throughout the day. And again, we announce all the winners at like 6:45 like we did last year. So there might be stuff going on literally every single floor if the capacity warrants that. Because what I don't want to do is say, "Oh, right, we've got 450 people. You know, and then we dilute it."
Right.
You know, but if we've got 700 people in the venue, it won't dilute it. That's the thing.
Yeah, Dan's literally just come up and says, do the heats on floor 1 and the final on the main stage.
That's a potential, that we could possibly do that,
You're speaking Pete's language. This is his whole thing.
Yeah. I'm happy to volunteer for a Street Fighter tournament if it needs to be organised.
Well, we did the Street Fighter 6 tournament. That went down. That was the first thing we did at midday, and that went down really well. I think all the competitions went down really well. The only one that didn't, which was a bit of a surprise, was the GoldenEye one.
Wow.
Nice.
We didn't get many partakers for that. We literally only had 2. So it was like, and this is how we caught up on time. So it was kind of a saving grace. But it was funny, there was someone who played it a lot and a little kid. And then they were deliberately letting the little kid win. And then they were like, "No, I'm going to win now." But what was nice is when they won the prizes, they just gave it to the kid anyway.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Cool. So it was kind of like, hey, that's cool.
Actually, kind of a similar thing actually happened at WASD, because I played Street Fighter 6 there, and there was a pro player who ended up winning the tournament, who just ended up giving the prizes to everyone else.
Yeah, which I think is a really cool thing. We had that happen twice. There was someone that won the things and went, "Do you know what? You have them," and I thought that was really sweet. And again, that shows you kind of the community of people we had at the event. That there was like, "No, I want it. They're mine." There was like, "No, you want that? You want that? You can have that." That was cool. Hello, Dave, by the way.
Yeah.
Dave was part of the team, and he did a brilliant job, bless him. He was running around all day. So big thank you to Dave.
One of the unsung heroes. Or,
yes,
well,
definitely.
He's now sung hero.
Yeah, sung hero now.
Well, yes. Yeah. So shout out to Dave. He says, Timeless was amazing. So I hear.
Bless him.
But, so is there anything, though, that you think maybe didn't do as well as you thought it would do, and you might adapt it to next year,
or it's on the chopping block for next year,
or on the chopping block?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything that's on the chopping block. Obviously, as I said, the GoldenEye competition was the one that was least greatly received, because we only had 2 people that wanted it, which was weird considering we had so many people want to do the other ones and stuff. But I think what we're going to do, because we're going to get these surveys out, and we tailored the running order to what a lot of people say, because people said we wanted to hear from journalists, we wanted to hear from people who made the games, we wanted to hear from streamers and content creators. So we kind of built that around their suggestions. So I want to see what we get back. I know one thing that someone wanted a lot more stuff from other devs, and we weren't able to do that.
Right.
I think we crammed so much in that no one really said that. But then it might be that we might not do the podcasters one and put a dev one instead. We probably will do another journalist one, but obviously we'll try and get other journalists from other magazines.
Right.
We're definitely going to do another content creators one. We definitely want to get another Legends panel again. And we might do different interviews. So I think it's a case that nothing's up for the chopping block. It's more going to be a case of really, what did the audience want? What did they love? What were they not saying? If they say everything was great, maybe we keep it the same, but we just get a whole host of different guests in. And because then that way people are getting not necessarily the same content, they're getting different content, but on the same kind of themes. And I think you're always going to get something like that. It's different. And I've even, Chloe XO reached out and said, so you're doing 2 next year then? And I was like, even before we started saying anything. And she said, I'd love to be part of it. And like, I'm kind of thinking like we did how we got guests that were there the first year, we brought them back in a different role. So Adam Sorkin did a talk. He was on the panel this time. Retro Games Master interviewed. We had Paul McNally, who I interviewed, but this time he was hosting the panel.
Nice.
So it's like, well, maybe we could get like Chloe or Slopes and previous guests. So they're not technically featured guests, but they're guest hosts.
Right.
Which then frees up a bit of my time to talk to everyone. But it means they're still involved, but they're doing a different role. And that's something that I'm very keen to kind of do, really.
Sounds
and keep that kind of going. It's like a tradition, and keep that going.
Well, that leads to the next question, which is, what's your absolute, if you could have your choice of anything in the world, no limits, what would your dream guests be at times?
Dave's going to know what I'm going to say.
Go on, Dave, put it in the chat before he starts.
I'm a massive Outside Xbox and Outside Extra fan.
Yes. Okay, yes, I know exactly that team. Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely love them. I love all of them. Andy, Jane, Mike, Luke.
Oh, yes. They're hilarious.
And I forgot the name. Oh no, that's terrible. I'm a massive fan and now I forgot the name.
That's okay. I've drank too much wine.
I love them to bits. I've met them on a couple of occasions.
Of course you have.
It'd be amazing if we could get all 5 of them at the event.
Oh, that would be so cool.
That'd be Jane, mine, Ellen. Thank you, Dave.
Yes.
Thank you, Ellen. So sorry, Ellen, if you ever see this and go, that's the man who forgot my name. In an ideal world, I know it might not be possible because they are extremely busy people.
They are.
I love them to bits, but if we could get them, that would be a dream come true for me personally. But I know a lot of people would love them because they're super lovely people.
They are, yes.
they're just so good at what they do, and they're so passionate about what they do.
Yes.
And I'd love to have them there. So yeah, that'd be in an ideal world. In an ideal world, that'd be. I think another one I would like, and it's funny because this person's been at Arcade Club and done a separate thing. But I would love to have John Romero.
Oh yes.
The guy who did Doom.
He would.
Amazing.
He is now. I've actually met several times because he lives in Ireland.
Yes.
He is such a just good guy. He's humble now. He used to be.
Yeah.
You know, everyone knows the story of when he was younger. He's a bit arrogant. He's not like that now.
Yeah, I've heard he's really nice. So.
Oh, he's so nice, and he would go. He's just wonderful. He's just wonderful.
If anyone's got any contacts out there for John Romero, let us know. But,
I'm pretty sure he just answers things on Twitter.
He probably does.
Well, that too. But I will. Yeah. I'll reach out to a few people.
Thank you. It'd be nice.
He's great.
We wanted to approach him the very first year, but he was attractive for someone else. And ironically, there was a bit of a clash. Arcade Club had booked him for like a LAN party thing of Doom.
Right.
He was there. He was there 2 weeks prior to our event last year, and then 2 weeks after. So we were like, well, it'd be a bit silly to have him there because it kind of, we didn't want to step on the venue's toes, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But as far as we know, they've not got any plans to bring him back to that particular venue. So that'd be cool if we could get him to do something.
He's so wonderful.
We didn't even do something we didn't do this year, which we did last year. Adam Sawkins did Beat the Dev challenge,
right?
And he played it. He had someone actually beat him at his own game, which was amazing.
I love
that. If you could do that with John and have a version of Doom,
and he'll do that. He plays Doom all the time. If you ask him, he's so yeah. Okay.
I think involved in Quake as well.
Yeah, he'll play Quake. He signed my Quake poster.
Multiplayer aspect to Quake, getting to play again. Yeah.
That could be a thing. So there you go. There's bless him. Dave's like, I'm working on it. So I've probably just given him a heart attack. He's gone, right, load of people we need to invite. But saying that, there are other people that I would love to have at the event, and I'm not going to mention any names because I kind of already sorted it.
Okay. I will wait on that then, because I was going to say some things. People that have rated you in the past.
Yes.
Okay.
Potentially, yeah.
Yep.
I cannot confirm or deny.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. Some bigger names that have rated Magg's stream. You should go watch Magg's stream.
I'll say that. I'll also give a clue. Someone that has been on one of my 135 talk shows, but in the last couple of months.
Woo! Oh my.
Who's a very big name. Has been confirmed.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch all the VODs to find it.
I have a big idea that I might be correct. Okay.
We're not saying any names.
Yeah, don't post them anyway. We'll find out.
Oh man.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll I'll hint to when you might find those names out a little bit later on.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Intriguing. But so what do you think in the future? Now that we've kind of confirmed that it's a thing that's going to happen.
It's a thing that's happen, yes.
Yes. What about giveaways? Are they going to get bigger, better, more?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. If we can do, we did 8 competitions where there were prizes.
Wow,
that's
a lot.
Yeah, so obviously we did the Street Fighter 6. I've got to look my notes. Street Fighter 6, Space Invaders, Sonic competition, Mini Rocket League tournament. Sorry, Mario Kart tournament, GoldenEye, Tetris, and then the Just Dance. So we did them. So we got people out of the audience, and they all won prizes, and they won everything from Pokemon stuff to Warhammer. Then we did. Oh my god. We had the big charity competition. So they had the game where it's one button, which it basically controls everything. Someone who'd been to the event 2 years on the trot, they won a giant bag of sweets, which was amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Which they were over the moon with. We had the cosplaying competition where a number of people won, and one person came as Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank.
Oh,
amazing.
They won a load of prizes and stuff from Player Ammo. there was that and the backbone, and then we had a draw for 3 people. We did the thing that people had used affiliate codes and drew a number out. That could have gone smoother because I picked 5 numbers out like a raffle and no one came up on stage. And I was like, oh God.
No.
Amy comes up on stage, goes, here, give me the bag, takes someone, draws it out, and of course someone immediately wins. So it's been standing on stage for 10 minutes looking like an absolute idiot. But it's the fact that someone won that because they bought a ticket through one of our partners, which was cool. So they got the discount code and stuff. So they won a backbone and a load of stuff from Player Ammo. And then we had 2 other people who were just people who bought tickets who came up on stage and won stuff. And again, one of the people that won it, who was like the final prize, was like, oh, I've just gone and bought one of them. And there was a kid that won. So we were like, well, tell you what, you can have that. And they were like, yeah, we're cool with that. Because the guy had just gone over to the Geek Retreat stand and just bought one of the sets that was one of the prizes. So he was like, yeah, give it to the kids. So we're like, cool, there you go.
Oh, that's great.
That's immense.
Yeah, there you go. The raffle thing ended up being really funny, though. Yeah, it was. My own embarrassment, but it was funny because it was just like yellow 55, and people are going, the tickets are orange. Obviously, I'm standing in bright lights. It looks yellow to me. Every number I'm pulling out, no one's coming up.
Oh,
and then Amy just waltzes up and goes, here, give me the bag, takes a thing, goes, blah, blah, blah. And they go, yay. And I'm like, oh, give up. I just like,
so that's something to change for next year. You're not drawing the raffle.
Yeah, I'm not drawing the raffle. Easy as that. Someone else does it.
Oh, that's so good. Well, okay. Well, cosplay is one of my favorite subjects. Yeah, Dave says we are overhauling the raffle. But cosplay, yes. Let's talk about cosplay. So, do you think you might expand the cosplay kind of whole avenue thing, or
I think definitely. Yeah. We were very honoured to have the wonderful Jinx from Nerdbait. She's absolutely amazing, and she bought 3 amazing professional cosplayers with them. Obviously, we had a Lara Croft. We had a Final Fantasy guy. We had Sonic the Hedgehog. We also had some other people that come that were contestants that come dressed up as Sonic and Knuckles as well. Oh, and she was dressed as Tails, which was amazing.
That's great.
So, they were jumping up and down on stage when we were with Slopes doing the Sonic competition. But they went around the venue, met people, had the photos taken. We want more of that.
Yes.
Jinx is. I'm going to say this now. Jinx is already involved for next year, so that's a thing. But we want them to be there and meet people when it opens and do more things. If people just want to do a photo and stuff, and then we'll have a big competition. We want to encourage more and more people to come because we had some people dressed up in Star Wars, Stranger Things. We had Power Rangers turn up. Oh my God, what else did we have? Obviously, we had the person that won that was Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank. We had a few others as well, and it'd just be nice if we got even more like people. And there were some people that did come as cosplay, but Harry Potter, we had people as Harry Potter cosplay as well. And it'd just be nice to say more people do it because you could win something. And if we get more and more prizes, it'd be nice to say, well, instead of like an overall winner and some little small prizes, we could say like the top 5 or something, you know. But that all depends on our wonderful partners and sponsors who, if you're interested in sponsoring us for next year, give me a call. Then we can give more prizes to wonderful people that attend the event. So, yeah. Just saying.
Dave's just put, also, I heard Timeless is going to 5 days, runs away.
Someone actually asked, I kid you not, someone said, is it going to be a 2-day event next year? And I was just like, no. I nearly die after doing it after the 1 day. It's not going to be 2 days back to back, is what I'm going to say.
Oh, okay.
Oh, goodness.
That might be a hint of something.
Right.
Although I do like Dave is pushing for 2 days.
All right, it's going to be a 2-day event, but then there might be something else as well.
There's probably a caveat to that.
There probably is. Dave's running the other one that I'm having nothing to do with, and I'll do the 2 days.
And you heard it here, Dave. You heard it here first, clearly.
That's not. It's like yes, right, okay, no, that's if I think, do you know what? That in all seriousness, though, let's say if for any reason the building work does get held up at the venue,
right?
If we were to sell out well within time, I think we would speak to the venue and say, well, seeing that we can't have a capacity of 700, which is not, not their fault. We know that building work might get delayed or whatever,
Yeah.
So we're kind of pitching it at that we reckon it's going to be a 450 capacity. That's what we're going at. And if they go 2 months before, it's going to be ready, it's going to be open, we can go, boom, great. But if we do sell out, so like let's say we sell out before Christmas, there is that to take into consideration that we might do a 2-day event. And that's been very serious, but that would take some planning and thinking of how we do that. So I'm not saying that would be a thing, but it could be something that we take into consideration.
So with next year's event, are you thinking about doing it at roughly about the same time or month?
We haven't announced it officially yet.
All I'm going to say is expect it to be round about the same time of year.
Okay.
We are releasing the date for the event. We are announcing it on the evening of Monday, the 18th of September, so a week on Monday.
Okay.
So we are announcing it. It's clear that it is going to be, the date is gagged, yeah, so we're not saying, but kind of expect it is going to be the same venue, obviously. Kind of, it will be in August.
Right.
Okay. But what we are going to do that we didn't do last year is straight off the bat announce a number of guests that are already confirmed on that night.
Oh, nice.
And how are you going about announcing this? Is it going to be on Twitter or is it going to be done by live stream?
Twitch stream?
I will be live on stream that night. I don't even know what I'm doing that night, but it's something I'm playing. I'm probably playing the new Crew game. So halfway through that, probably around about 10:30 that evening, we will announce it and the website will suddenly miraculously update. And there will be tickets on sale as straight off the bat from that announcement. So we're actually going to have 11 months to plan this one, but we've pretty much done most of the planning already. But so there is that. So that will be the lead into what I call the main event. And do you want your little exclusive now?
I think it's time for our exclusive. Yes.
Okay.
You hear it here first.
I can't give you much information on this, but what I am going to say is in January, or maybe before, depends, because there's further meetings to be had. In January, there will be an announcement for something else that we're doing in June.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's a tease.
But that is all I can say on that.
Well, you've definitely heard it here first. I love this.
Damn it, I want to know more, but I'll have to wait until January like everyone else.
Oh, I love Dave has just said, why did I not know this?
Yeah.
And Dan says,
Dave,
oh.
Yeah, Dave, don't worry. You just have to concentrate on the main one. We'll talk after. We're due a meeting later tonight, so we'll discuss that. He's probably gone, oh my God. He's on the team.
He's like, oh, I'm on the team. I'm on the team.
You know what? When I had the phone call and I explained it, he said, well, I was on the team. Yeah, no. Now I run. He's like, oh. When I explain to Dave will probably go, oh, yeah, that thing.
There you go. So there you go.
So it's been briefly mentioned in passing, but now it's probably more official than he probably thinks.
And to be honest, it's not set in stone yet. We are due a number of meetings over the course of next weeks, and I think we've got a final meeting at the end of September, and then that's when we'll either say this is 100% happening, or actually we're just going to stick with the main one. So please do take what I say with a pinch of salt, but I know that the people that we're working with to make this other thing happen are very, very keen. We just got to iron out some details, but we need to make sure that it works for both of us.
Well,
amazing.
All our listeners and watchers, you need to watch this space, but mostly watch Magg's space.
Yes. Monday the 18th of September. Keep an eye out for that on Magg's stream. We'll do what we can. We'll make sure to post it out at nearer the time, just to get some engagement up as well.
Absolutely. We're actually coming to the end of this chat. We've still got a lot of post show, don't worry.
We got a bit.
But is there anything you're looking for? Well, you kind of already announced, but we'll still say.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're looking forward to in the future? What are your ultimate plans? Like, again, if the sky is your limit, what would you love to see happen with Timeless?
I think I would. It would be nice to get to a point. Everyone kept saying, it's funny because obviously we did the conversation with Simran and saying about how passionate he is of things about events in the north, and he's very grateful that we do what we do there, and he's got his amazing events as well. And we don't see each other as competition, which is fantastic. We support each other. And I'm very passionate about keeping this going up in the north as well. But then people have said, well, would you consider doing it in the Midlands? Would you consider something down south? And we're like, well, I guess it's that thing. It's I want to walk before we can run. But if we ever got to a point where we're consistently selling out the event and there's a call for it, and if we've got people coming over from other countries to come to the event, then clearly we could move one and have a Midlands and a South. You know, I'd never want to do more than 2 or 3 a year. I'm not going to lie, because it's such hard work to do it. But even if we did 2 a year, I think it'd be cool, because then people who can't make it to the one up north, we could do another one. And it was something that was always discussed after the first year. That would be an ideal with my business partner at the time, and it never comes to fruition. But I think we get to it and regularly do it and sell it out. We'd want to basically keep that moving and keep doing that, and hopefully then spread that out to around the country. Basically, that would be ideal.
I think that's a wonderful ideal, because as we said on the show before, like both Pete and I frequent different conventions. Obviously, I'm more concentrated in Ireland, and then Pete's concentrated over there.
London way, let's just say.
Just all that. Yeah. He has access to way more. But I mean, we've, as I've said to our audience, we've had Max on before, and it's just it's the right kind of venue, the right kind of show, the right kind of setup.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we are lacking in conventions, especially after the lockdown and stuff like that. You know, it's been kind of like a slog to get it rolling again. But everything about Timeless is so dead on. So
thank you.
If you're out there, well, we definitely believe in that. That's why I had you back.
Yeah.
But if you're a listener or a watcher or both, you know, this is definitely something you want to get in on. I guarantee it. Pete and I will be getting in on it as well.
Yeah, I was watching all the Twitter stuff on the day, people posting pictures up, and the days after. It looked amazing. I was so disappointed I couldn't make it up.
Well,
I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brent, our Chad, says, I'm in the U.S. and seriously considering attending. If it's 2 days. I don't think it would be worth it for 1 day, unfortunately. And which is true. You know, it is difficult to travel that far, you know. For
I totally get that.
Yeah. But the idea that someone would travel from the U.S. to attend this, that's a wonderful statement.
I think that's very kind of you. Thank you for saying that. The only thing I could say is, because I can't guarantee we'd ever do 2 days back to back. I can't. I mean, Dave just said 5 days.
See that they're just adding days in chat.
Yeah, I know. It's like 7 days. Oh my god, it's sending to a week-long festival. There is the thing that you could always, because of the time of year that we do it, there's always the thing that you could attend a convention, and if you loved it so much, you could go back to the venue the next day because it's open the next day.
Right.
Because they do different openings. So say if you watched all the stage content and only played half the games, you could actually just go back to the venue the next day and just play everything you didn't play. There wouldn't be any convention on, but then it might be worth it for that. That's just, you know, bigging up the venue itself, really, just as a whole. Just to go to the venue. I know 2 people who've already went to our event have already gone back and experienced the venue as just a normal venue and loved it. So that was like, wow, you went back like less than 2 weeks after our event. I went, well, we loved it, and there was so much stuff that we didn't get to play. And again, that just speaks volumes for the venue itself, really.
Well, I have to share what Dan has said because it is something that I do agree with, which is genuinely and sincerely, the community around MAGG and Timeless is just incredible. It feels like something special is happening. Wow. I 100% have to agree with that.
Can't disagree with that. Your community always comes out when you jump on. It's great. They're a great bunch.
Yeah, they are.
They really are.
I can't even think of words to say that describe them because they're just that good. I probably wouldn't even do them justice if I said how good my community are. And at the end of the day, without them, I wouldn't exist, and the event wouldn't exist. And I did actually get on stage and say thanks to every single person who bought a ticket, and even the people that couldn't make it but still gave us, even if it was just one retweet or whatever, it's appreciated because without them, you know, the event would have nowhere been near as good as it is. And at the end of the day, I'm just some short-ass gobbygit that talks about games. And without an audience, the show's not going to be what it is. It needs the audience to basically take part in the competitions, turn up in cosplay, play all the games, you know, ask the questions to the panels. Because without them, we've got nothing, really. We've got some great content, but without the audience, we got nothing. So I want to thank every single individual person who made it.
Yeah, without them, you've just got a great venue and a bunch of things to do.
Yeah. That's it. Which is true.
That's so true.
Yeah. And I just want to highlight this from Dave. He says, even me, I quit. I think I've quit about 4 times in the last 10 minutes.
I think it's quit about 40 times in the last 10 days, let alone 4 times in 10 minutes. So
Poor Dave.
He's great though. Bless him. Dave's he's awesome.
Absolutely great community. I kid you not. We'll eventually get Pete over there once he gets to that 2-factor.
Yeah, two-step authentication. Not a dance. It's just security.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not sure I'm allowed back in Manchester, but I'll make sure I slip under the radar.
If there's one day in the year, it's like Dave said, we'll kidnap you. We'll bundle you in the van and get you in. Be like put one of those towels over you and just get him to the venue. All right, he's all right. He's safe. He's
be like a hostage situation.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, cool. I'm down with that.
Oh,
I won't scream too much.
Yeah, unless you want him to. This is the kind of show we have, folks. But you know, we've still got a few minutes on the clock, so we're gonna keep going. But I just love chat right now because Dave says my official title is kidnapping manager.
That is now a thing. It's official.
There you
go. Another
That's
exclusive.
That's it. All the exclusive dropping on this show.
Also known as a liaison officer, but we'll go with kidnapping. It seems to work better.
Pete has to be all proper and stuff. But look, and now we've had Manic enter the chat. Hey, how are you? How is the stream? What have I missed? I heard it was streaming at 9.
No, 7, mate.
7. But
yeah,
we've just been talking Timeless, as usual.
And like with any good Twitch VOD, it's Timeless. You can go for 14 days. You can go back and watch it, but you can go back on YouTube. It's Timeless there.
Yeah, it is. It'll be on YouTube forever.
Oh, it is on YouTube forever. All of my past mistakes are on YouTube forever. But you know,
that's why we name episodes after your mistakes.
I was gonna say I'm joking, but guys, I kid you not. There was an episode that I said the Activision acquisition by Microsoft would never be a big deal, and it would just go through with no hitch. It's so easy, so straightforward. I listened to it not that long ago, and I'm like, wow, how far off was I? Like, I was wrong in every sense of the word. But all of that aside,
I had it on record that I said Cyberpunk 2077 was going to be an amazing game from day one launch, and then that haunted me for like the last 3 years. So, you know.
Look, Phantom Liberty's coming out. It's fixing all the problems.
It better, or I'm going to fly over there and kick their ass personally.
Look, I've been over to Poland. They don't muck around over there. I think you might have a few problems. But mind you, I would love to see a Polish man and a guy from Manchester have a scrap.
Oh, goodness. But I will say this, though, or ask this, Matt. If you could have any game reveal, I know we're still talking in the future, but if you could have any game reveal at Timeless, what would it be?
Oh God, what for next year?
Just out of it could even be something that's not even been hinted at, but you had all access to it.
Imagine yourself the Jeff Kiley.
You know what? Right, okay. Do you know what? Just to really troll, I'm not a fan of this game, but this would be amazing because it would just troll everybody. We basically get Rockstar turn up and they unveil GTA 6.
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't know why, because I'm not the biggest GTA fan. It's all right. I'm not the biggest, but I just think it'd be hilarious.
It would be absolutely hilarious. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's do it, Rockstar. I know you listen. Or what is it? What's Rockstar's parent company? I forgot. Not Double Fine.
Take Two.
Oh,
Take Two.
Yeah.
I get Double Fine and Take Two because it's double. But Take Two, come on. You know you want to do it. Drop it over at Timeless. But oh my goodness, because I think the latest headline I've seen for GTA 6 was GTA 6 is not for kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
Has it ever been for kids?
Well done, whoever wrote that article.
Well, I actually want to go into this in the post show. I've been looking at something, so we'll go into that in a bit more.
Well, okay. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up our main show, because it's been amazing. But you do need to join us over at Rapid Review. Nope. Twitch.tv/Rapid Reviews. I've had a little bit too much wine. To hear our post show.
175 episodes, you still can't get it right.
Yeah, I know. It's just that's how it goes, Pete. But Pete, did you want to add anything before I wrap this up?
Not really. I think you covered everything in major detail. I just wanted to say well done to everyone, like MAGG, the whole team, all the guests, everyone that attended. Great stuff, making the convention scene alive again. You know, because we had a couple of years without it. See them back in a proper way, so I look forward to seeing more to do with Timeless. Yeah,
absolutely. Mag, do you want to throw any last words before? Any last words? That sounded morbid. But any final words?
Any final words before I go over to Poland and get? I do you know, just generally, I would like to thank both Kiley, Pete, for your support. Thank you for having me on the show a couple of weeks prior to the show. Thank you for turning up in my streams. Thank you to everyone that's in the chat right now that has pops in or retweets us and everything. I know, Nana does that a lot. Thank you so much, and everyone.
Yeah.
Again, couldn't have done this event without all of you. Again, we would not have an event without all the people that put all their love and time and support into it. I'm just one person of a number of people that put that event together. So it means a lot that people have supported this, and it was a phenomenal event, but it wouldn't have been phenomenal without the help of you lovely people out there. So thank you so much.
What a way to end the show, I have to say. We of course appreciate that as well. Always wonderful to have Mags on. And actually, before I say that, Mags, how can people catch up with you? Because I forgot about that.
I was getting to that if you forgot it.
Yeah,
I did. So go check me out on twitch.tv/Middle-Aged Gamer Guy UK. I am on either Monday to Friday or Monday to Thursday, 9 till midnight, except on Tuesdays, which is my little flagship show called TNGC, which we talk about all the latest games, news and reviews from the last 7 days, and that is 9 to 11:30. Yes. And you can catch Kiley on a future show and Pete on a future show in the next couple of months. So there you go. They will be on my show.
We are booked, primed, and ready to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun.
Obviously, I let Kiley go first because ladies first. Of course.
Of course. That was it. But I will say this: I do enjoy very much. I show up for the Tuesday. I'll show up sometimes for the streams when I have free moment. But I'm definitely there on Tuesdays, and guys, it's so much fun. It's so cool. Yeah.
We checking the Tuesday stream out again. I'm hoping to sort Twitch out so I can at least actually interact with your audience because they're awesome.
Oh yeah, no, the community's always great, always positive, always great. Yeah, Dan says yes. See you both soon. Then yes, you will. I think I'm like
Yeah.
in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah. Can I
But
also highlight this comment from Nana as well,
yeah,
who says
absolutely.
also for those here and also listeners maybe, friend of the show Deadbeat Punks podcast is returning tomorrow. So the
Okay, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
FUCK do you want? He's been on hiatus for about a couple of months,
He
and
has,
he's a good
yeah.
friend of the show. So please go and check that. 30 minutes of utter chaos.
Oh gosh, yeah. Irish chaos, which is the best chaos.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
We had a load of people fly over from Ireland for this year's event, and you could hear them shouting from the audience. It was great.
Yes.
I loved every minute of it. So,
The Irish know how to have a good time. That's just full stop. I love it here. But I think that's going to do it for the audio portion of our show, the actual podcast portion. I do encourage our listeners and our watchers, you're already here, but our listeners, join us over at twitch.tv/rapidreviews, and you can do that to catch up on the VOD. You can go catch up on YouTube, or just download you won't see the post or hear the post show, but you can download us over on Spotify. But I think that's going to do it for the podcast portion. So we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye.
Right.
we're good.
We're good.
That's the podcast portion done. Time for the after show, which is where we all get dirty and raunchy. No.
First time hearing about it. Hang on.
It's Rapid Reviews After Dark. No. No, but our lovely lovely chat is yes, that is how it is. I just love all that. We never have icons in our chat because we're
that is the usual energy.
Come on, Manic.
Usual energy. Yeah,
Kiley's
like, bye. I'm like, bye.
Yeah, that's usually that's how it goes.
It's usually because I'm focusing on other things by the time that button's pushed stop record.
But while we're here, we kind of were talking about it in the pre-show, but what are we looking forward to? I know October is going to be an insane month, but what specifically are we looking forward to?
Did we talk enough Starfield? Should we talk more Starfield? Because Brent's now in the chat.
Everybody's wanting. Okay, I haven't played Starfield yet. I'm not going to get to play it for another 2 weeks.
I'll be honest, I didn't want to spend the extra 30 quid for early access of a game that I don't own.
And it's on Game Pass, so I'm just being a tight. What's it? And I'm getting it free, so that's why I'm playing it on Thursday. To be honest.
Yeah. It just so happens because I've worked this weekend, it means that I get 2 days off a week, and it just so happens to be Thursday and Friday. So that's days relegated for Starfield. So yeah, you can just expect my full thoughts by next week.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, absolutely. I'm
Spider-Man 2, definite.
They've started releasing the TV spots for that now, and still looking good. It's looking good.
Oh, I need to go check that out.
I'm just annoyed because I'm a massive Mario fan, and the fact that there are 2 games on the same day that I've pre-ordered and want to play, I have the unfortunate choice of going, which one of my children do I choose out of?
I'll tell you what, though. Brent says Starfield episode next week. Then, actually,
unfortunately, no. We have something else planned for next week.
We have a sum up of Gamescom next week
By someone who actually attended Gamescom in person.
Yeah, which will be interesting because, much like if you've caught any of MAGG's stream, I also agree. The dadgum protesters on the dadgum stage.
Don't get me.
Sorry, I must be out of the loop with this then.
How did you miss that?
Do you want to get me started on this? Or
yes, please. I want to hear a proper mag rant.
All right, go on. We're going to go full on mag rant. Let's do
this. Let's do it.
We are literally only 10 minutes into opening night live with Jeff Kiley.
Yes, of course, this thing.
Yeah. Love Jeff Kiley to bits, right? And they've just had an opening video, not footage, but a video, but with also a bit of a semi-live concert with the actual music composer for Starfield playing the main theme tune. He's just about to bring Todd Howard onto stage throughout the game, and a couple of guys jump up on the stage and basically just start shouting When's GTA 6? When's GTA 6? When's Jeff? And Jeff, bless him, handled it like a pro.
He did.
Moved away from him. Security grabs him, gets him off the stage, moves him away. And he just said, it's so disappointing that something like that has happened. There's a lot of people here to celebrate their games and the game industry and the start of Gamescom. And this is just very disappointing that you decided to do that. And my point of view was, this is now the second time this has happened to him in 6 months.
Right.
Because we had the whole unorthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton thing.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure this whole thing started. He said rather than I want to play GTA 6, Bill Clinton wants to play GTA 6. So it's the same thing again.
Yeah, it was that thing, and it was just. But the way they did it was, one, not funny. Two, just basically rude. And this is where I kind of said, look, I know the kid that did that, again, shouldn't really be doing that. But he had the decency that when he went up there, he just patiently stood, waited, let all the developers from software accept their award, do their speech for Game of the Year, and then he made his move when they'd finished and talked down the mic and then swiftly get removed off stage.
Right.
These bunch of morons is the best way to describe it. Basically just interrupted the whole thing, and it wasn't funny, it wasn't clever, and frankly, the rant I had the other week, which Kiley saw, was why don't you actually try and be, one, clever, put more thought into what you're going to try and do, and three, just something that actually nobody really cared about them. No, to be honest.
Because it's like, well, also, what did they accomplish? Did they think that
Nothing.
Rockstar was just going to go, oh, okay, I'll release GTA 6 now?
Yeah. At least, I mean, the funny thing about the guy that did the really weird thing, like, I'd like to nominate her, he ended up getting interviewed on nearly everything. And he's just been doing random interviews where even then, interviews do not make sense.
Yes.
But he's become a bit of a cult celebrity because he's known for now turning up at interviews and talking absolute gibberish. But it's funny the way he does it. So that's cool. Yeah. But these guys, nah.
No.
It's just
disrespectful.
Disrespectful, that's it. That's the key word right there.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Whilst I personally am not Jeff Keighley's biggest fan, I still think it's hugely disappointing because these people put a lot of work in to get this up and running. You as an event organizer now will know how much work goes into it.
That is probably one of the most seamless events I've seen over the years. How they put that together, how they bring the different people out, and they go from that to whether they've got live musical guests or live guests that come out. You know, like last Christmas, we saw Nicolas Cage coming out and all that. And it's just very well put together and very well run. And to have something like that happen, it just be the biggest kick in the teeth. Because they have to rehearse it and then do all this, and you get something like that. It's just not on.
Ridiculous, honestly.
Absolutely.
So I just have to take a moment to shout out Nano. He's done really well today on the moderation side, so good work. He's posted links to MAGG and our streams and everything, so well done. Thanks, Nano. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I had a question and I blanked out because I drank a lot of wine.
I mean, that's normal.
Yes, it is, especially for now, Sunday nights. But yeah, so I'm kind of am looking forward to GTA 6. Now, my history of GTA is not great. I love Vice City. I just did. I don't know why. I just always clicked with that. GTA 5 was okay. Like, I really like Trevor a lot.
I absolutely love GTA 5. I think that game is wonderful.
I know you do. Pete has said it many times. And you've bought, like, every version that they've made available.
Apart from the PS3 version.
Okay, so apart
and
from
PC.
Which is crazy to me. But Pete's been there. But I'll tell you what I love more than anything, and I've said this on the show. It's the role playing. I love the GTA role players, and I love NoClip and all of them. And I heard recently that they're actually buying up the role playing servers, which is strange. I don't quite understand that. Rockstar is.
Yeah, I thought I'd heard of that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. They put up some of the servers, didn't they?
Mm-hmm,
they put up
did,
the 5M servers. So because this come up in conversation. I can't remember. I don't even think it was part of the. Maybe it was part of last week's talk show. I don't know, but I know for a fact that they've done that because people are saying, well, are they going to do something where is GTA Online just going to shut down and do this mistake that Overwatch 2 did?
Right.
But
yes.
by them
yes.
doing that, I can't see them doing that. I think they're going to release GTA 6, and then further down the line, like they did with GTA 5, an online version will come out. But it looks like because of the community for the role-playing servers is so massive, that's just going to just keep going. And then maybe they'll slowly change it over to whatever the GTA 6 thing is. But
yeah, you're right. It's CFX.RE. They were bought out by Take-Two.
Yeah,
right.
There you go.
I thought they bought the other one too. I can't
They
remember.
bought a couple now. There's been a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the biggest one that's been reported, I think.
As long as they don't buy no clip. But as listeners know, I follow a wonderful streamer, Call Me Kevin. He's an Irish streamer. Although he's currently in Spain, he doesn't live in Ireland right now. But he's where I really picked up the GTA 6 or GTA role playing. But yeah, the quality has gone down, but I think it's just because it's been around for 10 years? Am I wrong? How long has it been, Pete? That GTA 5?
It's very close to 10 years. It's actually going to celebrate its 10-year anniversary very soon in September.
That is insane.
No.
GTA 5 and Skyrim, they blow my mind because I do love Skyrim, I'm not gonna lie. And yet they just keep selling it to me and I just keep buying it. And I'm just like, okay, just give it to me. Yeah, so what I'm hoping is that the GTA 6, I don't know. Again, I've never been a GTA player outside of Vice City. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But that is Pete's purview, as they say. Because didn't you reviewed it recently, actually, the latest?
Yeah, the PS5 version of the game.
That's insane to me.
And that's considering that I bought the 360 version on Bev release, the PS4 version again, and then I got the PS5 version.
How do you review a game like that? Like you've played it so many times.
I decided to go at it with the aspect of I've played this game like twice already, and considering that I'd already downloaded it for Series X and played it through that. So I looked at it as what new features have been added, basically.
Yeah, which is good, but
which was not a lot actually for the money they were charging for.
Manic has just mentioned Warframe, Pete. Boo, 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 boo. Brent, it's time for you to chime in.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they. Funnily enough, they were doing a stream the other day, I believe, the developers Frame, and they announced their games, and they look incredible. One of them's like a Dark Souls-like game, and it looks absolutely brilliant.
I'll tell you what game I can play that is forever old, and that is the Hitman series. I'm talking about going back to not the very original Hitman, which was like on the Xbox or something, but like the Hitman 2 or whatever it was. The naming convention is so strange on Hitman, I get confused.
Yeah.
But I just love those games. They're almost like you can just pick them up and they don't feel old to me. I mean, that could just be me, but they don't feel dated.
I think it's the other thing as well, because obviously at the start of the year they announced the fact that obviously Hitman 3 was the last one in that newer trilogy.
Yeah.
But then they opened up the World of Assassination thing, which is an ever-growing thing, which launched last February. So that's probably, you can go back and play all 3 games. Plus, there's a whole load of new stuff, and they're just going to keep that going, and that looks like that's just going to just keep going and going and going.
I really enjoy that. I mean, they kind of dropped the ball with the VR version, but there's been so much funny stuff come out from it. It's hilarious.
Brent, why didn't you tell me the people who were Digital Extremes worked on Unreal Tournament?
Oh, goodness.
Why did no one tell me this?
Oh, that was something we were supposed to talk about. I meant to message you, Pete. So I see Saints Row is mentioned. Volition.
Oh dear, yeah.
Volition is
I want to talk about this, because I was going to save it for the news in a couple of weeks, but I fear it
No,
might
'cause
have been dead news by then.
No,
Much like
my
Volition. Ba-dum-ts.
Volition, for people to know, Saints Row has been I love. Now, see, that's the difference why I never really stuck with GTA. Saints Row I love and adore because it's
I
just where can
somewhat
you
agree.
where can you beat up zombies with the dildo bat? We even have
Exactly.
Saints Row, that's where.
Yeah, I think we even have an episode titled that exact thing because
I think
it's
we do, yeah.
amazing. I mean, I giggled my way through that. Like, I cannot, believe it. And then this latest Saints Row come out, and it was okay. I mean, a lot of people kind of panned it and said it was awful, but it was
I
okay.
think you were one of the very few people who actually was somewhat full of praise.
Yeah,
I never got to play it, and ironically, it lands on PS Plus on Tuesday.
It does, yeah.
Free, so I'm actually going to try it out because it's been just over a year since it come out, but it didn't excite me enough to want to get it. Whereas I've loved all the other Saints Row games.
Yeah, like it doesn't have the quirky humor, which you kind of wonder, how but it's an okay game. Like the gameplay's fine, and the missions are there. But the quirky humor is not there because they're trying to be, I think, PC. I'm not sure. So that kind of detracts from it a little bit. But I mean, so here's an interesting fact, and then we'll probably close out the show. Volition also had another game series called I think it was Red Faction.
Oh yeah, you remember those? Those are excellent.
Yeah, it's very cool. For audience who doesn't know, you could just destroy your entire environment. It was very new at the time. That was huge. And I loved it. The funny thing is, the lore of that's actually in the same universe as Saints Row.
Yes. No way.
Yes. Saints Row actually makes reference to it several times, and it is hilarious, and I love it.
That's bonkers.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yep. So you'll see the company that's in Red Faction is featured in Saints Row and all that kind of stuff.
That's really cool, actually.
It is cool. So it is kind of sad to see this era end, but
yeah. But look, I don't like to see companies going out of business. Volition been around for 30 years. 200 plus people are all going to lose their jobs. It's not great. But let's be honest here. Their last 3 games haven't exactly done numbers.
I know.
Which is very unfortunate. They spent a long time making the Saints Row reboot. Agents of Mayhem was not great.
No,
and even to some degree, like most people didn't particularly like Get Out of Hell either.
See, the thing with Get Out of Hell, I enjoyed it, but I think some of the jokes fell flat on some people.
I think if you haven't played the 4th one, you won't have a clue what's going on. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I definitely found that myself.
Not a DLC, it confused people.
I think that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like I said, the new GTA, as much as it's a game, it is a game. The humor is not there. When they changed it to Jim Robs instead of Rin Jobs. I mean, come on! No. That was hilarious. Rim Jobs is the best.
But that's the thing that was disappointing to me about it is they went so sterile. It just lost all of its humor to it. I know it was puerile. I know it was childish.
That's what I love.
But that's what made it stand out, though.
That's what made the game.
It was supposed to be the GTA killer, or say GTA killer. It was supposed to rival GTA, but it did so many things better than GTA.
Yeah.
I just love it. Terrible, awful humor. But that's why I liked Postal. Now, people are very funny about Postal, but I actually liked it.
I've heard Postal's decent. It just had a bit of a bad reputation because it was involved in a...
Yeah, I know, but it's funny in a dark way, and I love it.
You can still get it now because they all got re-released. And it's on
it did.
And stuff.
Yep.
But
let's see. I will do chat right quick. Manic says, "Do you not remember what the game company was that used to do Tony Hawk games before it closed its doors?" I actually forgot. We talked about
Neversoft.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pete definitely knows. We talked about it.
Neversoft did that because they ended up going on to do Guitar Hero as well with Red Octane.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I do love Red.
Why do I remember these
You always remember
freaking ridiculously inanimate moments in life? Like, I can't remember what I had for breakfast 4 days ago, but I can remember who developed fucking Tony Hawk from '99.
Yep, that's how it goes.
Jesus.
But we do thank you so much. We've had a wonderful evening with Mag and his wonderful community that has joined us in chat.
You have an incredible community. They always come out well. Like,
they're awesome.
They're
Thank you
amazing.
so much for one of you.
Yeah.
I very much look forward to interacting with them a lot more
Eventually.
in the future, especially when I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. Yes, because I'm there on Tuesdays, Pete, and it would be hilarious. But no, it's always good. So definitely check Mag's out. Like, he's there like all week, so do it. But and thank you guys so much for showing up tonight. It's been amazing. It's been a wonderful show, and you guys have been great. So we're gonna wrap it up now. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.